Algebra 2 Cram, New York State, Algebra 2 Regents, Common Core, Polynomials, Binomial Expansion, 4th term. Inbox me at memedicine@gmail.com to order your complete Cram session. Question 10, Polynomials. What is the 4th term in the expansion of 4x minus 3 raised to 5? Is it going to be 1, negative 1620x squared, 2, 1620x squared, 3, negative 4320x squared, or 4, 4320x squared? Definitely press pause if you need to, and I'll give you a moment to think. All right, so if you watch the first binomial expansion cram session in this series, I go into full detail about the theory behind the summation formula for binomial expansion, so definitely check that out, okay? But I'm going to recount briefly for those of you who didn't see it, and this is the formula for expanding a power of a binomial. And we definitely have a binomial here because the first binomial term is 4x, the second is 3, and they're separated by the subtraction sign. So binomials are of this format. They have one term and a second term separated either by addition or subtraction. Okay, but the formula basically applies to the separation of addition. So what we can do is turn this minus into addition and distribute the negative to the 3. So technically we would have 4x plus negative 3 raised to 5. Okay, and the 5 represents n here. So a is 4x, b is negative 3, and 5 represents n. And this is going to be the formula for expanding a binomial. So you have the summation from k to n of n choose k times a raised to n minus k times b raised to k. Okay, and k is the term of interest. But it gets a little tricky. Just hold on a minute and I'll explain why. This can also be equivalent to the summation from 0 to k, not from 0 to k, from 0 to n of n factorial divided by k factorial times n minus k factorial times a raised to n minus k times b raised to k. Okay, this factorial expression represents our combination expression n choose k. So instead of n choose k, if you're doing this by hand and not on your calculator, you can use this factorial expression for that. Okay? All right, so let's just go ahead and plug in our terms. But first, I want you to know two things. Here you see that summation starts at k equals 0 rather than k equals 1. That's what some people would intuitively expect. What this is going to mean is that every expansion of a binomial base raised to some power is going to have n plus 1 terms, okay? And the plus 1, the additional plus 1 terms, comes from beginning our summation at k equals 0. So a fifth power term, like we have here, will obviously have 6 terms. But what this means is that the fourth term is not going to occur when k equals 4, rather it's going to occur when k equals 3 because we started our counting at 1. The first term is when k equals 0, second term when k equals 1, third term when k equals 2, and the fourth term is when k equals 3. Okay? All right, so that's pretty much that. And again, we establish that our n is equivalent to 5, our k is equivalent to 3, the fourth term, our a is going to be equivalent to 4x, and our b expression is negative 3, so we'll just go ahead and plug all that in, and this is what it's going to look like. 5 choose 3 times 4x raised to 5 minus 3 times negative 3 raised to 3. We'll go ahead and simplify our, well, we'll first change our combination into a factorial, And then we'll simplify our first exponential expression by subtracting the exponent 3 from 5. And we'll also go ahead and simplify this exponential expression by multiplying -3 3 times by itself, okay? So everything is going to look like this. Great, so here goes our combination notation re-expressed as a factorial. So 5 factorial is basically 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. 3 factorial is 3 times 2 times 1. And 5 minus 3 factorial is going to be 2 factorial. That's 2 times 1. Okay, so basically our 3 factorial is going to cancel out. And we can take that out of the 5 factorial in the numerator. So you're just going to be left with 5 times 4 instead of 5 times 3 times 2 times 1, because 3 times 2 times 1 in the numerator will cancel with 3 times 2 times 1 in the denominator. And then you're left with 5 times 4 divided by 2 factorial. 2 factorial is 2 times 1. 5 times 4 in the numerator would be 20. So 20 divided by 2 is going to be 10. Okay, so we can go ahead and re-express that. And now we can multiply our non-variable like terms. So 10 times -27 is going to be -270 times 16x squared. Now we can distribute the -270 with the coefficient of 16x squared. So basically we're multiplying 270 times -270 rather times 16x squared, and that's going to be -4,320x squared. Therefore, sorry for the sing-song, you boys. It's just like automatic almost sometimes. Therefore, our correct answer choice is going to be answer choice 3. So lots of love and good luck studying. Thanks for tuning in.